Welcome to Hilltopper Sports Weekly. It is the first edition of the Women's Basketball Coaches Show, and it is the first show for new head coach Kyle Cooper. Coach, thank you for joining the show and welcome to it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here and excited to be in a new role this year, that's for sure.
Well, the Toppers, again, had a coach retire last season or resign and take the spot of athletic director here at West Liberty University. It was a legendary coach in Lynn Olam. Just having to replace a guy like him. You were an assistant here for quite a few years before you got the head coaching job, so it's not like the players are new or the whole anything is all that new to you, but it is a new position as head coach.
Yeah, and I think it's the thing that I've been blessed with is Coach Allum gave me so much opportunity to grow as his assistant and associate head coach. He gave me so much input. He gave me a lot of opportunity to take ownership of the program, so I think it makes for an easier transition. And then you parallel that with the fact that I have recruited all of these players. There's already that built-in relationship. But to say that it is a change and there's some new added duties, added stresses is probably the understatement of the year. But it is exciting, and to take over for Coach Ullum, it just means an incredible amount to me. We could do a whole show on just what it means to take over for a legend, and to have him trust me with this opportunity as he passes off his baby to me.
Well, we talk about that. Let's talk a little bit about how you got to this point to be a head coach at the Division II level. At what point growing up did you start playing basketball? You loved it. When did you also want to start coaching? When did that kind of click in your head?
It's actually kind of funny how it all came about, and it's weird how it all comes full circle in life. Because I always loved the game, loved to play. Obviously, growing up playing with your high school teams and your rec teams and everything else, and then our new assistant coach Cassie Seth, I actually played for her father in ninth grade, and he was always that guy that really pushed me to say like, hey, you're my coach on the court. Obviously I had some limitations. I've always been a big guy, so I could shoot a little bit. Defense, rebounding, not my strength. So I kept it simple, but he always found that that was my role as the coach on the court, and it kind of got my mind going a little bit. And then to take it another level is 2 years later, I end up making a weird bet with one of my best friend's little brothers, and I said, "You excited to play sixth grade basketball?" And he said, "I don't know. We heard there's not going to be a coach for the team." I said, "That's crazy. There's enough interest at our school in basketball. We'll get things going." Next thing I know, he comes to me in September of my senior year and says, "There's no basketball coach. You said you'd coach us." So the rest is kind of history. I became the sixth grade coach, the ninth grade assistant coach, and then sprung more that right into getting involved as a student assistant, student manager with John Beeline at WVU, which then transitioned me with Mike Carey in the women's side of things. So it's been an interesting road. I've kind of come up the blue collar way, not a college player, but I think that's also prepared me for this moment to be a head coach in different roles along the way.
I think that definitely gives a well-rounded coach to know that everything that goes into it from top to bottom at every position, how can you not have a whole lot of experience from being able to do that kind of stuff and having those opportunities? After WVU, you go to the Division II level. What were your roles at Wheeling Jesuit?
Yeah, I had one stop leaving being the grad assistant for Mike Carey. I did stop at Ohio University and work for Samika Randall as the director of operations and video coordinator. And then that kind of got me to the D2 level. I wanted to get into coaching, and at Wheeling, I was Coach Buff's recruiting coordinator, so I had a huge influence in recruiting those classes that went on to be pretty successful, so that's a point of pride for me. But it was also a unique role because while she was a veteran coach, I was new to it, and we were taking over a team that was really in a transitional phase. But needless to say, we got through some wars together, and I found a little bit better fit, to say the least, here up at on top of the hill versus at the bottom.
Well, that is, of course, very obvious to people that have watched over the past few years for Hilltopper, Lady Topper basketball. Just the success you've had and the recruiting classes that you brought in as an assistant coach have been tremendous, and it continues on even into this year, in your first year as head coach. And even through these first handful of games, you can see the way these girls just mesh. It's not just that they mesh well on the court, they get along so well. I mean, people make a shot, it doesn't matter who it is. You see the girls happy for each other.
Yeah, and that's the message actually we gave to them in the locker room before last night's game is that I think sometimes our players are still learning that we're not a team fit with all Americans right now, but what we are a team of kids that have a skill set. And one of it is shooting the basketball, and we have balance inside and out, and now we've got a true point guard to drive our up tempo style of play and our motion based style of play. But the thing that we told our players last night, the thing that we've been echoing since we got the job and this summer had camps and started our first meetings as a program with our coaching staff and our team, is, we've got to build this family. We have got to show the world that we're passionate about one another. And if you can separate the idea of just thinking about yourself out there and making it about that passion, that care, that family, we're going to be a lot more successful. Kind of that old mantra of each player's got some tools, but no one's got a whole toolbox alone. We've got to put all our tools together into one, and then you can see the product that we're hoping to see this year.
And it's not just Kyle Cooper that is the new head coach and some players coming in that are new. We also have a new assistant coach. Kyle already mentioned her once. Cassie Seth, a new assistant coach for the Lady Toppers this season, taking the place pretty much that you had last year.
Yeah, and it's been a kind of a seamless transition. Coach Seth and I actually grew up together. Our parents' houses are still less than a mile apart. Went to the same high school. As I said, I played for her father in ninth grade. And, she is so much more than just an assistant coach for our program because, again, the way I live my life is the same way I'm trying to build this program with my staple on it, and that's family-based. And she's family to me. We've known each other a long time. We're very close friends. And then it comes with all the perks of having her. Former player, she is somebody that was an all-conference player, played at a very high level, Division II, had opportunities to go Division I, chose D2, which is the situation that a lot of the kids we recruit are in. So she can truly relate to that, which is a major asset. And she sees things from a player's point of view, which helps me because while I've kind of had every role working up to becoming a head coach, I never was a player at the college level to see what they go through, know what it feels like, know the wear and tear on your body and so on. And then the icing on the cake is the fact that she's so good strength and conditioning wise that it's really lifted our program to another level as far as our ability to kind of maintain the pace of play we want to play at.
And having a coach like Coach Seth to help out with, like you said, the strength and conditioning and just her being a player in the past with these new players coming in for you, whether they're incoming freshmen or redshirt freshmen or transfers. Audrey Tingle is one of those that is starting point guard for this team. Talk a little bit about her and what you saw of her as a recruit, as a senior in high school, and what she's brought in the offseason practicing with the team.
Yeah, Audrey's really a special player, and more importantly, a special kid. I mean, she is blue collar to the core, comes from a blue collar family. She's nonstop. It's not just the motor on the court; it's how she lives her life. And I think that you'll see that as a trend with a lot of the players we recruit and a lot of players in our program. But the biggest thing is that she gives us a player that is going to push tempo for us. She's a true point guard, and we've actually been recruiting Audrey since probably sophomore year. Now we couldn't establish contact till junior year, but following her, watching her, and there's just always been something special about her. She's a true winner. She's got a knack for the game. It's another, high IQ player, but she is unbelievably sneaky for her size. She plays bigger than she is, and she's just nonstop. And the thing I'm probably most proud of for her is I told her in the summer you would not be viewed as a freshman in this program, and she's ran with that. And we're seeing that. Sure, she has a moment here or there, but she's willing to step up to that challenge, and that's important for us because we've got a lot of growing up quick to do in a conference loaded with talent.
Very much she has done so far this season. Early on, some other players also that are redshirt freshmen coming in. Olivia Belknap, she had an injury at the start of last season, so that's what made her get a medical redshirt. So we saw her for a couple games last season, but then also Jackie Kitts is getting some playing time this year after redshirting last season.
Yeah, and with Jackie, we had such a weird year last year, and after Olivia goes down, we probably are second-guessing that decision, but we would never remove the red shirt from her. So it was a great year for her to grow and get to know the system, and for Olivia, she got to get some of those jitters out. So she got to feel what it was like to go into a college game, and then she had a great recovery from her injury. So between the two of them, for them, they're giving us an incredible lift off the bench and an incredible lift from the get-go in practice. It makes things more competitive. We're able to push each other a little bit harder. And for them now, we're just looking for them to relax a little bit and enjoy playing and kind of embrace the talent level that they have and let it show a little bit more through a consistency standpoint. But I do think as they become more and more comfortable, that consistency will show, and we're going to become really, really dangerous when you've got that kind of depth.
And some other incoming freshmen for the Toppers this season, Samantha Hall. She's going to get a little bit of playing time here and there for the Toppers early on. Speak a little bit about her and some of the other incoming freshmen.
Sammy Hall is somebody that, we were kind of torn on whether she was going to even play or not. At first, she started off, she was going to be a student manager, student assistant, because she sees herself coaching one day. And then after camps, we were kind of hoping this happened, and it did happen. She realized that at the end of the day, she missed basketball entirely too much. Watching, friends of hers, because she's very close with Audrey, they played on the same AAU team. She missed the game a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And so she decided to hop in, and then due to our mentality, which is next player up, we have Monica Bragg sidelined right now, dealing with some injuries, and it gave Sammy an opportunity to step in and play a major role for us in the last couple games. And we're seeing after last night games especially, she can thrive in our program. A compliment I would pay to her is she reminds me a lot of Brika Merrick. And that's a serious compliment because that's a player that's earned some championships, started a ton of games for us, and still is heavily involved in our program and has a true passion for basketball. So she's doing a lot of really, really good things. And then we probably don't get to see our other incoming freshman much at all. She's a local kid, Jewel Papura. She's been battling some injury stuff and some health stuff. So we're working through that with her. And she is giving us, a lot of buy-in, and she's growing up quickly off the court, which is as important as on the court sometimes. And I'm looking forward to just seeing her continue to grow as a person, not just a player.
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch these Lady Toppers grow as the season goes on. When we return after the break, we will take a look at some of the games the Toppers have played early on in this season on Hilltopper Sports Weekly.
This is WLU TV 14, West Liberty University.
Welcome back to Hilltopper Sports Weekly, Women's Basketball Edition. We're going to take a look at some of the highlights from the first 5 games the Lady Toppers have played this season. Their season opener would be against Cal PA, the number 10 team in the nation. In this first quarter, first points of the season for Brandy Beater, got the game tied at 2. And a struggle early on, but Marissa Brown got that bucket, made it 12-4 in favor of Cal. Beater with a nice bounce pass to her. And Brown, after Brown's miss, she tips the ball back. Jackie Kitts hits a 3-point shot to make it 14-7 Cal. And then Brandy Beater would get to the corner with the ball, make her first 3 of the season to cut the lead to 10, 20-10 Cal. The first quarter would end 20-14 in favor of Cal. And later on in the second quarter, Olivia Belknap with a 3 cut the lead to 3 with just under 6 minutes to play in the second, 24-21. Marissa Brown, left-handed spin, lays it in, ties the game at 25. Cal would go into that halftime with a 29-25 lead. And this is an Audrey Tingle jumper that ties the game at 34. Brandy Beater once again gave West Lib their first lead with just under 4 to play in the third, 39-38. We move to the fourth. And West Liberty would go on an 8-0 run, finished by Brown's layup. They cut the lead to 54-50 with just 6 minutes left in this ballgame. Shives with the shot there. They made it 62-56 Cal. And that would be the end of the game. The final score was 68-61 Cal. But, the Toppers not sure. Nobody really knew what to expect from the Lady Toppers in that first game of the season, playing against a number 10 team in the nation and losing by just 7 points, playing pretty well against a very good team.
Yeah, and I think for us, the one thing that we talk about every day is taking things game by game, and we knew this was going to be a challenge. Cal and us have built a nice rivalry over the years, and, Jess Strum does a great job with that program. We knew they were coming at us. And the thing I was most proud about with our team is that they handled things well. They made a couple early runs on us. We battled back. We even had a lead at one point against a really, really good basketball team that is program driven. They come at you. They're defensively intense. And our kids handled some things. There aren't our moral victories, though. We would have liked to have finished a couple more plays down the stretch of that game. Maybe not fouled down the stretch as much as we did and maybe get an opportunity to win it. But we definitely had our chances. And I think it was a statement for the direction the program was headed as we started the year.
Well, the Toppers played that first game, a part of the MEC PSAC crossover challenge hosted at Notre Dame. The second game the following day was against Mercyhurst. And the Toppers' fortune would change in this one. Maybe they learned from the day before, not sure, but they came out firing. Olkowski got her first 3 of the game, and Brandy Beater with another one. The Toppers went on an 8-0 run to start the game. The score at the end of the first would be 19-7. The Toppers hit 4 3-pointers in that first quarter. We move on to the second fast break here. Shives makes her second to make it 27-10. Mercyhurst tried to come back in the second, but West Liberty took a 34-21 lead into halftime as we move to the third quarter. This is Belknap from the corner, gives the Lady Toppers 50 points at the 2-minute mark of the third quarter, and then Tingle with a 3-point shot made it 53-28. The quarter would end 53-30 in favor of West Liberty. Johnny Olkowski would get the rebound quickly up to Brandy Beater, who gets the fast break bucket as she falls down, makes it 62-41. A minute later, a great pass from Fodor to Olkowski and hits another three to make it 65-41. And Liv Belknap would put the icing on the cake, making it 76-55. Final West Liberty got their first win of the season and the first win in the era of Coach Cooper.
Yeah, it was definitely a good feeling, that's for sure. And, the thing that I loved about that game was we talked about growth game to game. And, again, just starting every new preparation 0-0 and trying to go 1-0 and everything. And that's been our mantra since we started. It will continue to be. Because with youth, you've got to focus in on the little successes in short term. But it was an incredible feeling getting my first win and our first win. And this program, I think, is headed in a really good direction. And it showed the growth based on we hit on them very hard that night and the next day on finishing plays and playing together. And we saw how special we can be when we're doing those things. That was a true team effort. We showed some passion for one another, and we got up and down the court well and shared the basketball. But more importantly, we guarded and rebounded, because that's the key for us to run is defending and getting clean rebounds. So it was great to get that first win for sure.
And a bit of a side note, or just a note, Mercyhurst, again, was the team that assistant coach Cassie Seth played for in her playing days, so it was nice for her to get a win against her alma mater. So congratulations to Coach Seth getting her first win as an assistant coach for the Lady Toppers as well. We move on to the Ursuline game. The Toppers still yet to play a home game at this point. Johnny Olkowski, a 3-point shot with an assist from Tingle, made it 7-5 Ursuline. And Jackie Kitts down low to Marissa Brown. She hits the shots and converted the and one. First lead of the game for West Liberty on that, 12-11. Then Johnny Olkowski, again, a deep three off the inbound pass. It tied the game at 15 apiece. Move on to the second quarter. Marissa Brown on the inbound pass ties it up at 17. And then it's Audrey Tingle with a three-pointer. Assist goes to Johnny Olkowski, 29-21 in favor of Ursuline, but that sparked a West Liberty comeback. Beater for a 3-point shot, her third straight three-pointer for West Liberty, and it made it 31-27. Belknap hit a three, made it 35-33, cut it to a 2-point lead. And then another quick 3-point shot from Shives, made it 36-35 in favor of the Lady Toppers. We move on to the third quarter. And this is Jackie Kitts waiting to find somebody. She does, and it's Audrey Tingle. It makes it 56-51, a 5-point lead for Ursuline at that point. Shives this time making a three, 83-66 as Ursuline was pulling away. Brandy Beater hit another one, and the final field goal of the game. Marissa Brown hits this layup in transition to make it 93-78. Ursuline, the final score was 105-85 in favor of Ursuline, but Marissa Brown, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 8 of 9. Johnny Olkowski, 15, 6, and 4.
Yeah, it's a game that we obviously didn't like the outcome, and you go on the road against the preseason #1 in the GMAC team. Our strength of schedule again is very good, which we're happy about because it's allowing us to see just where we're at. Again, you never like to take a loss like that, but it comes down to we just had a really big letdown in the third quarter, and third quarters have not been kind to us, and that's a testament to young players and a young team still growing together. When you hit adversity, you have two ways you can go, and in that game, we kind of took and threw our principles and our style of play out the window and tried to elect to play their game, and against a team that's built the way they are, we don't play that style. Yeah. And so you have a really, really tough third quarter that we're trying to forget, so I appreciate you reminding me of it today. But again, that kind of cost us that game. But through everything, we're continuing to look at growth, and it is something that we're looking to learn from those experiences and, recharge the batteries, get ready for Glenville following that game. And they did prep us a little bit for Glenville with the up-tempo style, so that was nice. And again, that transition was a quick transition for us to go from one good team to another.
So the Lady Toppers in their first 3 games, all of them away, played a top 10 team in the first game against Cal, got a win against Mercyhurst in the second game, And Ursuline is a team that consistently makes the national tournament for women's basketball, so another tough matchup with Ursuline. Then it's time for the Lady Toppers to start their conference play, and they go against one of the top teams perennially in the Mountain East Conference in Glenville State. We brought this game to you on the West Liberty Sports Network. Audrey Tingle, coast to coast, makes it 4-4 and ties the ball game up. Here comes Tingle again, breaking up that press from Glenville State. Olkowski hits the three-point shot. West Liberty led 16-10. Nice pass from Fodor to Marissa Brown. The easy bucket on the low block. Now it's Shives. Nice step to the side, and 3 assist goes to Tingle. Tingle was 2 assists shy of getting a triple-double in this ball game. That buzzer beater almost got there for Glenville State. Now it's Olkowski down low. Great pass to Marissa Brown over 2 players and gets a tie ball game, 33-33. Fodor, the little runner down the lane, found it and converts 36-37. Glenville has a 1-point lead at this point in the game, and Audrey Tingle getting the and one opportunity and converts. It's move on to the third quarter. Glenville up 2, still a tight game here. Shives from the corner. 3-point shot is good very early on in that third quarter. Toppers down by 3, but Samantha Hall getting in on the action. We talked about her just a little bit ago, and now it's Audrey Tingle. What a play there with the left hand for Audrey. And the Toppers now down 76-62. Belknap, little spinneroonie in the lane and gets it with the right hand. And now into the fourth quarter, the Toppers down, but Brandy Beater still playing, made it 90-68. And in the final seconds, you see Grace Fodor getting the last bucket for the Lady Toppers. The final score was 96-75. Again, Audrey Tingle 2 assists shy of getting that triple-double. Marissa Brown 14 points and 5 rebounds against a very tough Glenville State team.
Yeah, they are good, and they're veterans, and they know how to win. I mean, this is a team that perennially is good, as you said, but they are preseason one in our league, and they do return a lot of veteran play, and that showed down the stretch of that game. Another tough third quarter for us. One thing that's making these third quarters tough is we're tending to get ourselves in foul trouble. So that's something we're really working on in practice, and we're really trying to drive home in what we do. But again, you see in these highlights, and again in the Ursuline game, this one and the 2 prior ones, win or lose, we're seeing some signs of what we can be.
Right.
And that's the thing that we're trying to really, really take right now. I mean, we have some kids that can seriously shoot the basketball, and when we are sharing the ball, we're really hard to beat. And we got a tremendous lift in that game from Grace Fodor, and she's continuing to give us a really good lift. So we're hoping to continue to see that, because not only is she one of our most athletic players, but she can really guard. And that gives Brandy and some of our other more elite defenders a chance to get off of the other team's best player. So, again, the collective effort continues to be good. We just need to avoid these letdowns and continue to grow. And one big thing being, staying out of foul trouble and keeping these athletic, big teams off of the glass.
Well, after the game against Glenville State, the Lady Toppers finally get a home game, and it is against another Mountain East Conference foe in West Virginia Wesleyan. In the first quarter, you see Audrey Tingle get the first points of the game for the Lady Toppers. And later on, Marissa Brown would make it 7-4 West Liberty with a baby hook in the lane over 2 defenders from West Virginia Wesleyan. Johnny Olkowski will double up Wesleyan on this 3-point shot. Made it 14-7 in favor of the Lady Toppers. You see the passing there for the Toppers, just great getting it past the Lady Bobcats. Shives a 3-point shot, 19-7, her first of 4 in the second quarter. Now Grace Fodor, 3-point shot. During the broadcast, had to kind of chuckle a little bit. It took a long time last season for Grace to get a first 3-point shot. This one happens in the first home game.
Yeah, and it was great to, again, see Grace get rewarded, and I think there is a little bit of something, and Coach Seth calls it basketball karma, where when you're doing the right things defensively and the things you can control, like rebounding, good things happen offensively, and we got a chance to see that for Grace in this last game.
And we go into the second half. Marissa Brown getting the bucket there. The Toppers holding on to that lead and building on it, not just holding on. A great pass there. Marissa Brown's quickness right there getting to the bucket. 48-38 at this point. Belknap, a deep 3-point shot. Now the Toppers up 53-47. West Virginia Wesleyan trying to come back, but you see the great pass from Olkowski to Hall. And the freshman stepping up big against a tough team in the Mountain East. Brandy Beater, wide open 3, and makes it, now it's 66-53. Marissa Brown, again, a nice move on the block. She keeps getting better and better as the years go by. She started to get better last year with those type of plays, and this year you can see just she's even better this season early on than she was last year. Her quickness, fighting for balls on the floor, you just see her flying everywhere. It's great to see that from Marissa Brown.
It is, and with her, it's the consistency. She still has those moments, but the moments are more rare this year. And one thing that is big, and a lot of people use this cliche in coaches, that first year players in your program become second year, and she's seeing a major difference. But I give her a lot of credit, and I'm proud of her. She's really made a commitment to giving a better effort, play to play, possession to possession, and she's really put a lot of time into just getting in better shape so she can play at our tempo, play longer stretches, which we're asking her to do as our true five right now out there, and she is a presence for us. So it was really good to see that. And I think the one thing that's making us even more dangerous, and we showed it, is this, because it's not a team filled of all Americans, but a team filled of players that fit together well. We moved the basketball unbelievably well last night, and it was a moment of true pride for us as a coaching staff, and they should be proud of themselves because they allowed that passion for each other to show. We moved the basketball, and Wesleyan just came off of a huge win. I mean, they knock off reigning tournament champion Wheeling Jesuit, and they did it by scoring 85 points. So for us to keep them in check defensively, rebound the ball, especially down the stretch like we did, and then they're flying around at us defensively, and we're just moving it, and that is who we are, and that's who we have to continue to become game to game, possession by possession, and hopefully we'll be able to do that as we move to our next one here tomorrow.
And as a broadcaster and a fan, that was a very fun game to watch and call. Again, you just see different players, different times. They seem to dominate stretches here and there. Marissa Brown, especially down in the low block. They put two women on, it doesn't matter. She still gets those buckets, and it's great to see. This is going to be it for this segment of Hilltopper Sports Weekly. When we come back, we will have more from Coach Kyle Cooper, talk about his starters and some around the Mountain East Conference news as well.
This is WLU TV 14, West Liberty University.
Welcome back to Hilltopper Sports Weekly, Women's Basketball Edition. Still here with Coach Kyle Cooper. Coach, the starting five this year for the Lady Toppers. You got a freshman starting point guard, but the rest have all started before they started last season for the Lady Toppers.
Yeah, and we do have some veterans returning, and it is nice to have four kids that have started a lot of games for us. The one thing that is unique about it, though, and I think people forget, is that you're looking at their year based on their academics. So, yes, we have a lot of upperclassmen in the classroom, but as far as on the court for us wearing black and gold, we really have Brandy Beater and Johnny Olkowski that have played a lot of games and have experience winning in what this program expects to have and the standards that we have in this program. So yes, it is great to have one senior and three juniors starting for us, but again, two of them with McKenna Shives and Marissa Brown, you are looking at two players that are still only 1 year in, and it was a weird year. You don't play at the tempo we want to play at, we don't play the style necessarily we want to play, and we certainly don't win to the level we want to win to. So we're still pretty young, but it is nice to have veterans and people that understand the expectations, at least as we continue to grow. But the addition has been, for sure, freshman Audrey Tingle gives us a true point, which allows us to do so much more of what we want to do.
And it's not just the starters for the Toppers that have gotten things going so far in the first handful of games this year. They got a lot of depth on the bench as well. To watch more Topper games, be sure to tune in to the West Liberty Sports Network. The Toppers play November 22nd at 1 p.m. They play Slippery Rock at home at the ASRC, so tune in. We will have a full broadcast on the West Liberty Sports Network. You can watch on Comcast Channel 14 or WLTVonline.com. And then after the Thanksgiving break, it'll be November 29th. The Toppers will travel to Urbana, and we will bring you that game. We'll see. We're going to try to bring it to you video. It may just be audio only, but we'll see. It'll be, again, Wednesday, November 29th at 5:30 p.m. at the Grimes Center in Urbana. So please join in and watch us on the West Liberty Sports Network and see Coach Kyle Cooper try to get some more wins to his record in the brand new Cooper era, as I like to call it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, and it'd be nice to get another one here before break. We could get back to 500, but again, with our program, we're 0-0 this morning. We're focused on Slippery Rock for the next 36 hours, and we're trying to go 1-0 going into Thanksgiving break. So that's the goal for us.
Well, Coach, thank you for being here. Welcome to the show, and I look forward to filming more and more of these shows as the year goes on.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for everything, and looking forward to a show next week as well. Thanks.
So join us next week. We'll have another Hilltopper Sports Weekly women's basketball edition with head coach Kyle Cooper here on the West Liberty Sports Network.